Hi, my name's Andrew Fowler, and this is my engagement vlog response. So for question one, what actions made you feel engaged? I wanted to first define what engagement was to me, and for me, it's when you feel like you have an impact on the business or organization. So whatever your task or responsibility may be, whether it's something specific to help out a manager or something that you decide to do on your own time, but there's kind of an end goal where whatever you do and complete ends up helping the business, or at least you feel that what you did made an impact, whether a positive impact on the organization or business. Um, so for me, this past summer, when I was working in my internship, usually internships don't involve all the most important responsibilities or tasks. Usually it's stuff like creating Excel work spreadsheets, creating presentations, a lot of just grunt work. But what happened with me was pretty early on, the vice president of marketing, she kind of took me under her wing and made it a point to give me tasks to do, things to do that were just beyond what my kind of everyday, day to day responsibilities were. And whether these tasks were little things like creating email campaigns or using my creativity to come up with certain graphics, these kind of tasks really gave me the feeling that I was making an impact and I was engaged with everyone else, even though I was an intern and I was at such a basic level that I still had an overall impact with everything that was going on. So, on for number two, on the other side, what makes you feel disengaged? One of the things that really kind of slows me down is when a leader will say, "We don't have anything for you to do right now, so just keep doing what you're doing." And for me, I was always someone who was taught that even if you have nothing to do, find something to help either people that are within your department or not in your department, but do whatever you can and make yourself useful, even when you feel like there's downtimes, because there really shouldn't be any downtimes in any business or organization. But I know that a lot of employers, leaders, don't want employees to be spread too thin. For me, I'm someone who definitely feels like they can handle that, helping out other people, wherever it may be or however it may be. So I do remember there were a couple times in this same internship this past summer where there were times where it was maybe a down period and there wasn't a lot of things for me to do. So it was pretty much like status quo, keep doing what you're doing good work, just keep doing what you're doing. And there wasn't a lot of motivation for me to kind of extend myself and try new things or anything like that. I kind of just, if anything, got complacent. And I really don't think complacency is a good thing in the workplace at all. So yeah, to continue on that, to answer question three, how did feeling engaged or disengaged impact your work input? For me, like I said, it's pretty easy. Being engaged made me go above and beyond my responsibilities and made me work harder and better, knowing that whatever I was completing was going to have some sort of impact. It wasn't just busy work or something like that. And on the other side, when I felt disengaged, like I said, I felt complacent. I wasn't willing to work as hard, do as much, willing to help. I pretty much just kind of closed down, and I think that's something that a lot of leaders need to be cognizant of, is motivating their employees correctly and obviously keep making them feel engaged with their work process and make them feel useful for the stuff that they're doing to help you out. And yeah, my overall output and productivity definitely correlates entirely with my level of engagement. So the more engaged I am, the higher my overall output and productivity is, and then vice versa when I feel disengaged. So for the last question, if you were the leader, how would you get your employees to be more engaged? So like in the presentation, we talked about Khan says there are three things that foster engagement: meaningfulness, safety, and availability. And the first one, meaningfulness, definitely is what I was talking to above or about earlier. Basically, feeling valued and the work that you're doing is valued and recognized as being worthwhile. And like I said, not just busy work. And for someone who was an intern, that I kind of came into it thinking, well, I'll just be getting coffee and stuff for these people, but I ended up leaving with a lot more responsibilities than I anticipated, and definitely felt more engaged and got a lot more done for them. But for me, I would take kind of what we talked about in the presentation, and I kind of would move past that and say I would congratulate or praise workers based on what they're doing, not for everything, not for every little responsibility or something that they need to complete, obviously. But there are definitely times where I think in the middle of it, workers don't feel appreciated all the time. And like I said, especially if they're not feeling engaged in the overall goals of the company, they might not be willing to work as hard. They might start slacking off or take it against you personally, and that can really cause problems with an organization. And then another one would be like promoting, like having people, like promoting people to feel comfortable and coming up with new ideas, kind of thinking outside of the box. For me, this past summer, that was something that I felt pretty early on that I could go to my managers or even people higher up than them and kind of give them my ideas and not feel like I'll be shut down immediately, that they'll actually hear me out and be willing to hear what I have to say. And like I said, for someone who was just working there for a couple months and wasn't being paid, that really made me feel engaged in our company's overall goals. And like I said, I tried to do everything that I could, and that's it.